guys, I'm in a new place. I'm stood up. I don't even have a chair yet. It's echoing. Ah! But yes, I have moved once again. It seems like every time we hit July, every year, I change locations. And that's because I've been at university and I kept moving. And once again, I've moved. So can you believe it? This is how I'm on my own. This is my own space and I don't have a chair. But yeah, here we are. This feels weird. I don't feel like I should be stood up. I feel weird. I need to be like down here. I don't like it. Anyway, I will get a chair and maybe this angle will not stay. But I'm here to talk about Superorganism and their follow-up album to the album that came out in 2018, I think it was. It feels like a lifetime ago that I was reviewing that album and saying that, look, maybe there's some potential in these guys. Maybe there's some, you know, growth. Maybe they could become something more exciting. There were cool tracks on that album. It was all right, but there was more to sort of offer ultimately. And everything I've said has been proven wrong because they've put out this new album here, Worldwide Pop, and it's really not good. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to review it, because I was seeing some generally positive things about it, but it honestly is rubbing me the wrong way. I think this is a really poor effort from the guys. I think this has some really weak attempts at melody and generally attempts at pop music. It just doesn't seem to be flattering on the ears, particularly the vocal choices on the first track as well. I feel like this track right here just has one of the most unflattering vocal attempts I think I've heard in pop in some time. And when I hear pop done bad, I get mad. I'm telling you right now, I get mad. There's this like forced quirkiness to it as well. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, a natural quirkiness. It just feels like they're trying to be a bit like random for the sake of it. The vocals, like I say, have this like modulation over them and it sounds so poor. And this becomes a common trend for the album too. The vocals on Don't Let the Colony Collapse sound really bad in my opinion. Again, the vocal processing just sounds hideous and ugly, and I don't know why you'd opt for something like this when it sounds like this. If you're gonna at least, you know, slather on a bit of auto-tune or something like that, you've got to at least make it sound like it's on key or it's on par with the rest of the track, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb, if you get what I mean. Crush for me is one of the most bizarre tracks because you've got these like really lazy, relaxed kind of like vocals on the verses, and then it crashes in on the chorus with like the most awful auto-tune I've heard all year. It just doesn't sound like it's matching the rest of the track. It sounds like two separate tracks, and also the way it sounds bad enough, so it's just like, why would you go for that? And Everything Falls Apart is the same as well. It's like they either go for the processed, ugly sounding stuff, or they go for like the like that kind of like lazy, angsty teen sounding voice that just sounds like so, you know, apathetic to the world. Everything is just pointless and meaningless, you know, those kinds of teenagers. It's just got that vibe to it, and then, you know, it comes through with the processed awful like. There is also the track Teenager, which is apt because I think that is kind of what they're going for on some of these tracks, with the kind of attitude and the angstiness to it. The vocals on this one, not a fan of that either, but the lyrics are, you know, trying to be kind of like a bit like rebellious and all that kind of shit. I feel like they're being ironic. I don't think they're being serious. I think they are taking the piss. It could have been funnier though. I feel like when you do these kinds of tracks, I'd at least rather you make them funny, and I wouldn't really say this is particularly funny. And another track that baffles me on a lyrical level is Put Down Your Phone. I feel like we need to give up these kinds of songs, particularly with the children's choir vocals on the chorus, which sounds atrocious, by the way. But lyrically, I feel like these songs about phones and stuff just never go down well. I can't think of like one that's ever really done it well. I mean, there is Can't Keep Checking My Phone by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. I don't know why my brain wasn't remembering that. That's a good tune. I feel like it has a bit more of a narrative to it, but when it's just about like phones and how we need to not use them as much and all that kind of stuff, it feels really preachy. It never sells in a song. It never like translates well to good music ever. And I don't know why this is a thing. Like, it should be able to be, you know, discussed and touched on in music. But I just feel like when artists are trying to, like, you know, talk about technology on a grand level, a bit like Steven Wilson's last album, it just comes off really corny. I don't know why. I don't know why it does, but it shouldn't, and it always just does. And this track is just another example of it. And yeah, for me, the only track that I thought was particularly tolerable and enjoyable was Flying, and even that wasn't something I'd ever come back to. It just felt a bit more down to earth, a bit more grounded. There wasn't as much going on. Like, so some of these tracks have really annoying melodies as well, pairing on top of the fact that the vocals sound like shite. You've just got a mismatch of all these kinds of poor elements kind of just been like shitted out. Like, it's just like a rainbow of shit just coming through, and it all just sounds like, you know, like, I don't know, really annoying like YouTube kids music or something like that. I mean, my nephew sits through, or used to sit through, so many videos of like, you know, kids playing with toys, and there'd always be like some music playing in the background while they're just playing with some random toys. It's all like commercialized shit just to sell some Pokemon things or whatever, and it's just like a huge thing on YouTube Kids. And this sounds like this is the music that would soundtrack that. I just struggle to find a time and a place for this kind of album. It's not catchy, it's not enjoyable, and even as pop albums go, it's nowhere near being one of the better ones out there. And I don't see the appeal, and it's weird because I thought the first album was pretty cool. So it has some cool ideas. Maybe I go back to it, and maybe I hate it now, I don't know, maybe it's one of those albums, but yeah, this didn't work for me at all. I'm going 4 out of 10, thought it was pretty bad. And you should let me know in the comments what you think as well. Let me know about me standing up in this setup. I need to know, because it feels weird, but I've gone for it anyway. And hopefully you've enjoyed this review. As always, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments. Check out, keep doing this, check out my Patreon, that would be fantastic as well. I would love to see more people join me on there. There is a Discord server that you can get involved in, that would be wonderful. And yeah, subscribing is enough though, so please subscribe. Have a good day and goodbye.